Good morning, Philippines! Kumusta po kayo? Oh my God, I am back. How's everybody? Today's actually January 6th, 6th day of 2025. Oh, ano na, kumusta na po kayo? Did you spend your first 6 days wisely? Anyway, I was supposed to go live and stream last Saturday pero nagka-problema po tayo sa ating audio quality. So I opted to figure out how to correct it. And good thing, may nakapag-recommend po sa akin na magandang software. So right now, I am using this new software. Hopefully, you'll be able to see the difference, the quality of the audio. This video clip compared to the previous videos that we had for the past years. Anyway, kumusta po kayo? Good morning, Philippines! And good afternoon, US of A. My God, parang akong naninibago dito. So, how did you spend your weekend? Sunday, yesterday, today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. We went to Zion National Park. Me, my aunt, my cousins. It's a family gathering, so we went there. It's a nice experience. It's about 2 hours and a half. No, make it 3 hours away from where we live. Ang ganda ng area doon. Parang hindi kami nag-picnic, nag-pictoria lang kami. So anyway, so if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Okay, as mentioned last Facebook Live and stream, I said that every Saturday I will stream and give a free coaching about the NCLEX RN. So please, this is just a supplement for whatever review material you use for your NCLEX preparation or any nursing qualifying examination. So whether you're planning to take the NCLEX RN or the NCLEX PN or the NCLEX, what do you call that, PN, LVN, or the DHA HAAD Prometric, or the NLE in the Philippines. Speaking of Philippines, big shout out to Sir Gift Paguntalan, the CEO and director of Aim to Top Review Center in Cagayan de Oro City. I will see you, I think, a few weeks from now. And of course, big shout out to the owner and the director of Techno Intellect, Ma'am Amor. Hello, Ma'am Amor in Cagayan de Oro City. And of course, to the CEO of St. Louis Review Center, Dr. Roger Tongan. We spoke like few days ago, and he told me if I can handle the NCLEX review for the what do you call this, nurses sa St. Louis Review Center, and I said yes. So for those who are planning to take the NCLEX RN, and we'll have the review program anytime soon. On those review centers I mentioned, the Techno Intellect, Aim to Top, and St. Louis Review Center, I will see you guys. Hold on. There, hindi ko nakikita yung ano. Hindi ko nakikita yung mga comments. Anyway, so for this clip, we'll talk about blood. Okay? Bakit ba na napag-isipan ko na blood yung i-discuss this year? Upang bungan talaga ng taon, ano, blood talaga. Wala lang, feel ko lang i-discuss. Anyway, so let's talk about blood. I will not discuss blood in details, just key points, things to remember, especially if you're planning to take the qualifying examination. Okay, so allow me to share my screen, and please, if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about or ask, please let me know. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, guys. Let me check my monitor. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So we'll talk about blood. Remember that blood is the only fluid connective tissue. Hold on. Bagong lahat, do you know that blood is the only fluid connective tissue in the body? Most of connective tissues are actually solid, just like your bone. Okay, hello, Sir Sander Ray from Aries Galaw. Hi, thanks for watching. So, blood is the only fluid connective tissue, and it constitutes 8% of your total body weight. So, come to think of it, if you weigh, for example, if you weigh 120 pounds, 8% of that galing po sa dugo. Okay, and we know that blood is actually formed inside the red bone marrow. The location of your red bone marrow depends on your age bracket. Okay, for adult, usually the red bone marrow can be seen in the flat bone, but for pediatric, the red bone marrow can be seen in the long bones. Okay, so there's such thing as red bone marrow and the yellow bone marrow. The red bone marrow is responsible for the blood formation. The yellow bone marrow is more on fat deposition. Correct? Okay. So what else? So inside the bone marrow, okay, inside the red bone marrow, there is a specific cell. So here we go. Entire screen there. Hey, where's that? Whiteboard. Here. So inside the bone marrow, there is a specific cell. Okay. Now we call this cell. We will name this cell as your pluripotent stem cell. Pluripotent. Now, what do you mean when you say pluripotent? Hey, what do you mean when you say pluripotent? Pluripotent is different from omnipotent. Okay, when you say pluripotent stem cell, it means to say it's a cell that will eventually divide into different types of cells. Okay, that is what we call pluripotent. So from a single pluripotent stem cell, it will divide into two. Okay, the other one is what we call myeloid. 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 And the other one is what we call lymphoid. So there's such thing as myeloid stem cell and the lymphoid stem cell. And guess what? This myeloid cell or stem cell will produce, not actually produce, will give you three distinct cells. Okay. What are the three distinct cells derived from the myeloid stem cell? You have the RBC, you'll call this as your erythrocytes. Then you have your WBC. What do you call this? What is another name for WBC? Okay, these are what we call your lymphocytes. And then you have your platelet. You call platelet as your thrombocytes. Okay, so the RBC, these are cells responsible for carrying gases, not only oxygen. Remember, it is also responsible in carrying carbon dioxide. Your WBCs, these are soldiers in the body. They will help combat infection. Your platelet, your thrombocytes, are responsible in controlling, preventing blood loss or bleeding. The lymphoid stem cell, on the other hand, will only give you two distinct cells. Now, what are those two distinct cells? We have the B lymphocytes and the T lymphocytes. Some book, they will call this as your B cell and T cell. Don't forget that the B cell or the B lymphocytes, our lymphocytes are cells that is usually activated during, okay, during what do you call this? During a bacterial infection. Okay. Now, the T lymphocytes are cells that that is actually usually activated during viral infection. Okay. Now, with respect to the different immune responses, don't forget that your B lymphocytes are cells that mediate. Okay, don't forget this. B lymphocytes are cells that mediate humoral response. Humoral response. The T lymphocytes or T cells, our lymphocytes are cells that will mediate your cellular response or cell mediated response. Cellular response or cellular mediated. So don't forget this. So when you talk about humoral response, it is an immune response that is usually activated or present during bacterial infection. Okay, your cellular mediated response or cellular response or cellular mediated response is a type of response usually activated during viral infection. Okay, and by the way, the T lymphocytes produced by the bone marrow are kind of useless T lymphocytes. They need to go to your thymus, because if they won't go to thymus, these T lymphocytes will not mature, will not differentiate into a more specific lymphocytes. That is why the T lymphocytes from the bone marrow needs to go to your thymus. Do you know where your thymus is situated? Sometimes it will come out in your NCLEX. Drag the mouse and click where is your thymus situated. Your thymus can be seen where at the back of the sternum fronting the heart. Okay, when the T lymphocytes or the T cells enter the thymus, it can cause differentiation and proliferation of your T lymphocytes, transforming your T lymphocytes to a more specific cell. So it can turn into what we call a helper T cell. Okay, a helper T cell, or some other book they call this as your CD4 cell, which is, by the way, the target of your HIV infection. Then you also have your killer cell. Then we also have your memory cell. Then we have your suppressor T cell. Suppressor. Oh God. Suppressor cell. See? So if the T lymphocytes enters the thymus, it will proliferate and differentiate into a more specific T cells, making it more helpful. So anyway, so this is what we call the blood formation. Now, another thing. So in the body, don't forget that when you talk about blood, don't forget the components of your blood. Okay, we said that the blood is the only fluid connective tissue, and the blood is composed of two elements. So we have this what we call the plasma, which is the liquid part of your blood, and we also have your formed elements. Okay, elements. Your plasma is actually 55% of the total blood volume. 40K form elements will be 45% of your total blood volume. Your plasma is the liquid part. Okay, so primarily, not actually primarily, but mostly made up of water. Okay, in your plasma, you can also find in your plasma your water, clotting factors. You can also see immunoglobulins or antibodies in your plasma. What else? Electrolytes in the plasma, waste products in the plasma. Okay. Now, what else? For the form elements, I already mentioned this. You have the RBC, you have your WBC, and then you have your platelets. Okay. So these are the two major components of your blood. And when you talk about blood groups, so this is the highlight in your examination. So there are three common blood groups. So you have your blood type A, okay, a blood type B, a blood type O, and a blood type AB. The thing to remember in your examination, regardless whether it is an NCLEX examination or NLE in the Philippines, don't forget, okay, if your patient's blood type is type A, what antigen is present in your blood type A and what antibody is present in your blood type A. So let's identify. So you have your antigen and then you have your antibody. So when you talk about antigen, and I am referring to an antigen that can be seen in the RBC. When you talk about antibody, I am referring to an antibody that can be seen in the plasma. Okay? Okay. So if your blood type is type A, don't forget this in your examination. A blood type A contains an antigen A in the RBC, and it contains antibody B in the plasma. If your blood type is B, then you have antigen B in the RBC and you have antibody A in the plasma. If your blood type is type O, then you don't have antigen in the RBC, but you have antibody A and antibody B in the plasma. Okay? If your blood type is type AB, you have both antigen A and antigen B in the plasma, but you don't have any antibodies in, sorry, antigen A and antigen B in the RBC, but you don't have antibodies in your plasma. I just want to correct myself. Okay? So again, so when you talk about antigen, I am referring to presence of antigen in the RBC. And when you talk about antibody, I'm referring to a specific antibody that can be seen in the plasma. So what is the relevance if your blood type O does not contain antigen? So remember, if a blood does not contain an antigen, the implication is no antigen means to say no immune reaction. That is why, if you can still recall, the safest blood is type O because it can be given, safely be given to different type of patient regardless of the blood type. So if you don't know the blood type of your patient, the safest blood is type O because the type O does not contain any antigen. And having said that, no antigen means no immune reaction, then means to say no blood transfusion reaction most likely because it does not contain any antigen. But if your blood type is type AB, a blood type AB has an antibody, doesn't have any antibody. Therefore, it can receive any type of blood. Okay? Now, please do not forget this concept because I will incorporate this later on with the different blood types. Okay? Now, another concept you need to remember about blood is the RH. Okay? A blood can be RH positive or a blood can be RH negative. So, what is the implication if the blood is RH positive? An RH positive blood means it is a blood that contains RH antigen. Okay? So, with RH antigen. If your blood is Rh negative, it means to say it is a blood without Rh antigen. Please do not forget this concept because eventually you will encounter this in your maternity nursing, especially if you will touch Rh incompatibility. Okay? Now, let's proceed to the different blood types and what blood can you give to your patients. So please, I hope you understood this specific concept. Now, look at your different blood types. If your blood type is A positive, if your blood type is A negative, what else? B positive, B negative, O positive, O negative, AB positive, and AB negative. Let's look. Look at the different blood types. Okay. I think this is the straightest line I've ever drew. Not perfect, but commendable, I guess. Do you know your blood type? I can still remember during my senior years, we had this activity. We need to identify our blood types. Okay, so this is your blood type. Okay, let's label. So this is your blood type and can get. Okay, so look, if your blood type is type A, okay, if your blood type is type A, you can get what type of blood? You can get a blood type of A positive. You can also get a blood type of A negative. You can also get a blood type of O positive. You can also get a blood type of O negative. If your blood type is A negative, you can get a blood that is A negative, or you can get a blood that is O negative. If your blood type is B positive, you may be given a B positive blood, or B negative blood, or O positive blood, or O negative blood. If your blood type is B negative, you can get a B negative blood or an O negative blood. If your blood type is O positive, you can get an O positive blood or an O negative blood. If your blood type is O negative, you can only get an O negative blood. If your blood type is AB positive, you can get an AB positive blood or an AB negative blood or an A positive blood or an A negative blood or a B positive blood or a B negative blood or an O positive blood or O negative blood. If your blood type is AB negative, you can get an AB negative blood or A negative blood B negative blood, or O negative blood. So look, what did you notice about the different blood types and what blood can they get? Look, even if you don't know the blood type of your patient, O negative can be given. See? An O negative blood can be given to any type of blood. That is why in your examination, in your NCLEX, in your board examination, or any nursing qualifying exam, what is the safest blood? If you do not know the blood type of the patient, the safest blood is O negative. Why O negative? Because O negative can be given to any type of blood. Why O? Because O does not contain, okay, any antigen, okay, but it contains antibody A, antibody B. So if it does not contain any antigen, no immune reaction. Okay, Rh negative means to say does not contain any Rh antigen, so it's the safest blood. So O is what we call the universal blood donor. It can donate, it can give to any type of blood. But what about if you will be asked, what blood type is considered to be the universal blood recipient? It receives any type of blood. The universal blood recipient is actually AB positive. Look, if you're AB positive blood, okay, you can receive any type of blood. Take note of the difference. Universal blood donor, okay, universal blood donor is O. Universal blood recipient, okay, is what we called AB. So don't forget this. Universal donor, nabubulol ako. The universal blood donor is O and the universal blood recipient is AB. I hope you learned something, guys. There you go. I hope you learned something. So those are the different blood types and things to remember for your examination. Now, I mentioned that Rh positive, negative, usually you will encounter this once you will talk about Rh incompatibility in your maternity nursing. Don't forget that Rh incompatibility is common to patients, to pregnant mothers who are Rh negative. So there is no problem if you are Rh positive. Rh incompatibility is common to mothers who are Rh negative and happens to have a baby who is Rh positive. Okay, that is why one common agent given to them is ROGAM that must be given within 72 hours, right? What is the purpose in giving ROGAM? The purpose in giving ROGAM is to prevent antibodies formation. Okay, so I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something, guys. I think that's all. This is just a trial stream for me. And I said that we will do stream and Facebook Live every Saturday. I'll see you again next time. God bless everybody.